You want success, you want power, you want to look in the mirror and see a winner staring back at you. Then you need to understand one non-negotiable truth: discipline wins every single time. The world is full of talented losers. Guys with potential, guys with big dreams, but zero discipline. And guess what? They lose every time, because talent without discipline is just wasted potential. The guy who shows up every day, who grinds when no one's watching, who refuses to quit. That's the guy who takes everything excuses. Weak men hide behind them. I didn't have time. It's too hard. I'll start tomorrow. Pathetic. The world doesn't reward excuses, it rewards results. And results only come from one thing: unbreakable discipline. You think champions are born different. No, they decided that failure wasn't an option. They trained when others slept. They worked when others partied. They stayed focused when others got distracted. That's the difference between a winner and a nobody. And let's talk about motivation, because motivation is a joke. It comes and goes like the wind. Discipline. Discipline is iron. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired. If you're tired, you'd rather scroll on your phone like a zombie. Discipline gets the work done no matter what. You want to be unstoppable. Then embrace the grind. Suffer now so you can dominate later. Every drop of sweat, every hour of sacrifice, every time you say no to weakness, that's what builds a champion. And when you've put in the work, when you've earned your stripes through discipline, something magical happens. You become fearless. Because you know deep down that you've done what others won't. That's when winning becomes your only option. Talent is nothing without discipline. The world is full of naturally gifted people who never reach their full potential because they lack the work ethic to match their abilities. You see this everywhere. The athlete with perfect genetics who never trains hard enough. The smartest kid in class who coasts instead of pushing himself. The entrepreneur with great ideas who never executes. Raw talent might give you a head start, but it means nothing if you don't have the discipline to develop it. The truth is, talent alone is just potential energy. Discipline is what converts that potential into real-world results. The most dangerous person isn't the most naturally gifted. It's the one who combines even average talent with relentless discipline. This is why discipline beats talent every single time. Talent might open doors, but only discipline can keep you in the room with the elite. Discipline creates consistency where talent creates inconsistency. A talented person might have flashes of brilliance, but a disciplined person delivers results day after day after day. In any competitive field, whether it's business, sports, or arts, the people who rise to the top aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who show up and do the work without fail. Consistency is power, and consistency only comes from discipline. While others are distracted by short-term pleasures or discouraged by temporary setbacks, the disciplined individual stays focused on the long game. They understand that real success isn't about occasional heroic efforts, but about daily disciplined action. This consistency compounds over time, creating advantages that no amount of raw talent can match. The disciplined person might start behind, but they always finish ahead because they never stop moving forward. Discipline turns ordinary into extraordinary through the power of repetition. Mastery in any field comes from doing the fundamentals perfectly thousands of times, not from occasional moments of inspiration. The disciplined person embraces this truth and puts in the repetitions regardless of how boring or difficult they might be. They understand that greatness isn't created in dramatic moments, but in the accumulation of countless small disciplined actions. While others look for shortcuts or hacks, the disciplined person focuses on perfecting the basics through relentless practice. This is why discipline is the ultimate equalizer. It allows people with average talent to outperform naturally gifted people who won't put in the work. The magic isn't in some secret technique, it's in the disciplined execution of ordinary actions done with extraordinary consistency. Discipline builds mental toughness that talent alone cannot provide. Going through the grind day after day develops a resilience that becomes your greatest weapon. When challenges arise, the disciplined person doesn't falter because they've trained themselves to push through discomfort. They've built the habit of doing what needs to be done regardless of circumstances. This mental toughness gives them an edge in high-pressure situations where talented but undisciplined people crumble. The disciplined mind knows how to focus, how to endure, and how to keep going when others quit. This isn't something you're born with. It's forged through repeated acts of discipline until it becomes part of who you are. Talent might impress people, but discipline in the face of adversity earns real respect. Discipline creates opportunities where talent waits for them. The disciplined person doesn't wait for perfect conditions or lucky breaks. They create their own opportunities through preparation and action. While the talented person might be waiting to be discovered, the disciplined person is out there making things happen. Discipline means being ready when opportunity appears, but more importantly, it means creating opportunities through consistent effort. The world rewards those who take initiative, not those who rely on their gifts alone. Discipline gives you the work ethic to keep knocking on doors until one opens, the persistence to keep improving your craft, and the determination to make your own luck. Opportunity favors the disciplined because they're always prepared and always in motion. Discipline compounds over time while talent often plateaus. The benefits of discipline grow exponentially as the years pass. Each disciplined action builds on the last, creating momentum that becomes unstoppable. Meanwhile, many talented people peak early because they never develop the discipline to keep improving. The disciplined person gets better every day while the merely talented person stays the same or declines. This is why discipline is the ultimate long-term strategy. It keeps paying dividends year after year. The disciplined individual understands that real success isn't a sprint. It's a marathon where steady, consistent effort wins the race. Remember, playing a different game than everyone else, one where time becomes their greatest ally instead of their enemy. Discipline is the foundation upon which all other success is built. Without discipline, even the best strategies, plans, and ideas are worthless because they won't be executed properly. Discipline is what turns knowledge into results, potential into achievement, and dreams into reality. It's the common denominator in every success story, regardless of field or circumstance. The disciplined person might not have every advantage, but they make the most of every advantage they have. In a world full of distractions and shortcuts, discipline is the unbeatable competitive edge. It's what separates those who talk about success from those who actually achieve it. At the end of the day, talent is given, but discipline is chosen. And that choice makes all the difference. The moment you start making excuses is the moment you admit defeat. Weak people blame their circumstances, their genetics, their upbringing, or their bad luck, while winners find a way no matter what. Excuses are nothing more than permission slips to fail, and the weak cling to them like life preservers because taking responsibility is too painful. The truth is brutal but simple. If you wanted it badly enough, you would make it happen, period. There are no valid excuses, only varying degrees of surrender. Every time you justify why you didn't succeed, why you couldn't perform, or why you fell short, you reinforce the mentality of a loser. Winners don't entertain excuses because they know that every second spent justifying failure is a second stolen from future success. The world doesn't care about your reasons, it only cares about results. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll stop making excuses and start making progress. Excuses are the language of mediocrity. The average person is drowning in them, using them as a shield against accountability. They didn't get the promotion because the boss didn't like them, not because they weren't the best. They didn't build the business because the market was bad, not because they lacked the discipline to grind. They didn't get in shape because they didn't have time, not because they chose Netflix over the gym. This is how weak people think, always pointing outward, never inward. But here's the reality. Every limitation you accept becomes your prison. If you believe your excuses, you will live by them and die by them. The strong don't waste energy explaining why they failed. They redirect that energy into making sure they don't fail again. Excuses are for people who have already given up, and if you're still making them, you're not serious about winning. The psychology behind excuses is pure self-sabotage. When you justify failure, you program your mind to expect it. Your brain looks for evidence to support your beliefs, so if you believe you're held back by external factors, you'll always find new ones to blame. This creates a vicious cycle where failure feels inevitable and success feels out of reach. But flip the script. What if you took full ownership of everything? What if every setback was a lesson, not an excuse? Suddenly, you're in control. The strong understand this. They don't waste time on victim mentality because they know it's poison. They analyze their failures, extract the lesson, and move forward without self-pity. Excuses keep you stuck in the past while accountability propels you forward. The choice is simple. Keep lying to yourself and stay weak, or face the truth and grow stronger. History is written by those who refuse to make excuses. Every great innovator, athlete, and leader faced obstacles far worse than yours, but they didn't whine about them. They overcame them. No money? They hustled. No opportunities? They created them. No support? They didn't need it. Weak people see barriers as dead ends, but strong people see them as challenges to smash through. Think about anyone who's ever achieved anything remarkable. Did they do it by listing reasons why they couldn't? No. They did it by eliminating every excuse and finding a way. Your circumstances don't define you. Your response to them does. The moment you stop accepting excuses from yourself is the moment you start operating at a higher level. The weak wait for perfect conditions, but the strong build success out of whatever they have. Excuses are the enemy of growth. Every time you let yourself off the hook, you stunt your development. Struggle builds strength, but only if you push through it instead of using it as an excuse to quit. The gym isn't hard to justify skipping, it's hard to make you stronger. The business grind isn't exhausting to give you a reason to slow down, it's exhausting to separate the winners from the losers. Pain isn't a signal to retreat, it's a signal that you're evolving. Weak people misinterpret discomfort as a sign they should stop, but strong people recognize it as proof they're heading in the right direction. If you're not facing resistance, you're not growing. Excuses trick you into avoiding the very challenges that would make you better. The question is, do you want comfort or do you want power? Because you can't have both. The marketplace doesn't reward excuses, it rewards value. No customer cares why your product is late, no audience cares why your performance was weak, and no employer cares why you missed your targets. All that matters is what you deliver. Excuses might earn you temporary sympathy, but they'll never earn you respect or success. The strong know this, so they focus on solutions, not explanations. Instead of saying I couldn't, they say I will. Instead of complaining about obstacles, they find ways around them. This is why they win, because they play by reality's rules, not by the weak man's rulebook of justification. The market only pays for results, so why would you waste time on anything else? Excuses don't pay the bills, they don't build empires, and they don't create legacies. Action does. Excuses are just fear in disguise. Fear of failure, fear of responsibility, fear of leaving your comfort zone. But here's the truth, you're capable of far more than you think if you just stop telling yourself why you can't. The strong aren't fearless, they just refuse to let fear dictate their actions. They feel the doubt and move forward anyway. They recognize excuses for what they are, the coward's way out, and they reject them on principle. If you want to be strong, you have to do the same. No more explanations, no more justifications, no more surrendering before the battle even begins. Either you find a way or you don't up it. Don't insult yourself with excuses. The weak need them. You shouldn't. Motivation is a fickle friend that comes and goes as it pleases, leaving you stranded when you need it most. It's the spark that lights the fire, but consistency is the fuel that keeps it burning. Too many people wait around for motivation to strike like lightning before they take action, but winners understand that relying on motivation is a losing strategy. The truth is, motivation is temporary while consistency is permanent. Motivation might get you started, but only consistency will get you to the finish line. The most successful people in any field aren't necessarily the most talented or the most motivated. They're simply the ones who show up every single day without fail. They don't wait to feel inspired, they create results through relentless repetition. When you prioritize consistency over motivation, you take control of your success instead of leaving it to chance. The human brain is wired to seek comfort and avoid effort, which is why motivation often disappears when things get tough. Consistency fights against this natural tendency by creating habits that bypass the need for motivation altogether. When you build a routine, you remove the need to decide whether or not to act. You just do it because it's what you do. This is why discipline beats motivation every time. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. The gym isn't packed in January because people are motivated. It's packed because of New Year's resolutions. But by March, the crowds thin out because motivation fades. The ones who remain aren't there because they're more motivated. They're because they've made training a non-negotiable part of their life. They've moved beyond needing motivation and entered the realm of automatic execution. Consistency transforms effort from something you have to think about into something you just do. Motivation is based on emotion, while consistency is based on systems. Emotional states are unpredictable. They fluctuate with your mood, your environment, and countless other factors. Systems, on the other hand, are reliable. When you build systems, you create a framework for success that operates regardless of how you feel. The writer who waits for inspiration will produce far less than the writer who commits to writing a certain number of words every day. The entrepreneur who only works when they feel excited will be outlasted by the entrepreneur who follows their business processes, rain or shine. Systems remove the need for willpower because they turn productive behaviors into automatic routines. Motivation might give you a temporary boost, but systems give you permanent results. Consistency is what happens when you stop relying on fleeting emotions and start building unshakable structures. The compound effect of consistency is where real success is born. Small actions repeated daily create results that seem impossible to those who only work in bursts of motivation. Reading 10 pages a day doesn't feel impressive, but it adds up to over 3,600 pages in a year, the equivalent of dozens of books. Saving a small amount of money consistently grows into wealth, while sporadic big savings often never materialize. The difference between success and failure isn't usually one massive effort, it's the accumulation of small efforts repeated over time. Motivation might help you sprint, but consistency is what wins the marathon. People overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year because they don't understand the power of consistency. The most impactful changes come from daily disciplines, not occasional heroic efforts. Consistency builds trust in yourself and from others. When you consistently deliver, you prove to yourself that you're capable of following through. This creates a powerful self-image where you know you can depend on yourself to do what you say you'll do. Externally, consistency makes you reliable in the eyes of clients, employers, and peers. People might be impressed by occasional flashes of brilliance, but they invest in consistent performance. The freelancer who always meets deadlines gets more work than the one who sometimes delivers amazing work but is unpredictable. The employee who shows up every day with solid effort outlasts the genius who's brilliant but inconsistent. Trust is the currency of success, and consistency is how you earn it. Motivation might help you create a great moment, but consistency helps you build a great reputation. Motivation often depends on visible progress, while consistency creates progress even when it's not visible. This is why many people quit. They don't see immediate results, so their motivation disappears. But consistent action works like planting seeds. You don't see the growth happening underground, but it's there. The bodybuilder doesn't see muscle growth after one workout. The writer doesn't see improvement after one page, and the investor doesn't see wealth after one deposit. But over time, the results become undeniable. Consistency is faith in action, the belief that showing up day after day will lead to results even when you can't see them yet. Motivation needs constant validation, but consistency validates itself through inevitable results. The people who achieve greatness aren't those who only work when they see progress. They're those who keep working knowing progress will come. At its core, consistency is a form of self-respect. It's the decision that your goals are important enough to pursue regardless of how you feel in the moment. Motivation is about chasing a feeling. Consistency is about honoring a commitment. When you choose consistency, you're telling yourself that your word matters, that your time matters, and that your future matters. Motivation is external and unstable, but consistency is internal and unshakable. The path to anything worthwhile isn't paved with bursts of inspiration. It's built brick by brick through daily dedication. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting to feel motivated and start building the consistency that creates real results. Motivation is for amateurs. Consistency is for champions. The choice is yours. Will you be at the mercy of fleeting emotions, or will you take control through relentless consistency? One approach leads to mediocrity. The other leads to mastery. Discipline builds unshakable confidence because it proves to yourself what you're capable of achieving. When you consistently follow through on your commitments, push through discomfort, and maintain high standards, you develop a deep inner knowing that you can handle whatever challenges come your way. This isn't the fleeting confidence that comes from external validation or temporary success. It's the rock-solid assurance that comes from having tested your limits and expanded them through disciplined action. The gym rat who never misses a workout knows with certainty that he's stronger than last month, not because someone told him, but because he's put in the work and seen the results firsthand. The entrepreneur who consistently takes action regardless of obstacles develops a quiet confidence that no market shift can shake because she's built her success on discipline, not luck. This is confidence that can't be faked or borrowed. It must be earned through daily discipline, choices that compound over time into unbreakable self-trust. The relationship between discipline and confidence works like a feedback loop where each reinforces the other. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, no matter how small, you deposit trust in your personal integrity bank. Missed workouts, broken promises, and abandoned projects withdraw from this account, leaving you feeling uncertain and insecure. But when you consistently do what you say you'll do, you build up such substantial reserves of self-trust that doubt can't penetrate your mindset. This explains why disciplined people often appear remarkably calm under pressure. They're not immune to stress, but they've developed such strong faith in their ability to handle challenges that anxiety doesn't overwhelm them. Their confidence comes not from never failing, but from knowing they'll persist through failures. This is the critical difference between superficial confidence based on past achievements and the deep confidence that comes from knowing you have the discipline to create future achievements regardless of circumstances. Discipline transforms uncertainty into capability through the mechanism of preparation. When you've put in the hours, practiced the skills, and done the work required to master your craft, you don't wonder if you can perform. You know you can. The public speaker who has disciplined himself to practice daily doesn't fear the stage because he's already put in the reps. The surgeon who has meticulously followed procedures thousands of times approaches each operation with quiet assurance. Their confidence isn't arrogance, it's the justified belief in their abilities forged through disciplined preparation. This stands in stark contrast to the shaky confidence of those who rely on talent alone without putting in the work to back it up. When the moment of truth arrives, the undisciplined person questions whether they're ready, while the disciplined person knows they're ready because their preparation leaves no room for doubt. Confidence built on discipline doesn't waver when tested because it's been stress tested through countless hours of deliberate practice. The confidence that comes from discipline has a different quality than other forms of confidence because it's rooted in reality rather than perception. Many people try to build confidence through affirmations or fake it till you make it strategies, but these approaches crumble under pressure because they're not backed by substance. Discipline creates confidence that withstands scrutiny because it's based on measurable progress and proven competence. When you've actually done the work, hit the targets, and overcome obstacles, your confidence doesn't depend on others' opinions or temporary circumstances. You know what you're capable of because you've demonstrated it to yourself repeatedly through action. This creates a grounded self-assurance that doesn't need to be loud or showy. It's the quiet confidence of someone who has nothing to prove because their track record speaks for itself. The disciplined individual doesn't fear competition or comparison because they're too focused on maintaining their own standards to worry about others. Their confidence comes from within, making it immune to external challenges or criticism. Discipline builds confidence across all areas of life, creating a strong foundation for personal growth and achievement. When you're disciplined with your health, you develop confidence in your physical capabilities and appearance. Financial discipline builds confidence in your ability to create security and abundance. Professional discipline gives you confidence in your skills and value in the marketplace. Relationship discipline fosters confidence in your ability to maintain strong connections. This holistic confidence is far more powerful than confidence in just one area because it creates an integrated sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on any single domain. The person who is disciplined in multiple areas themselves differently, there's an unmistakable aura of capability about them because they've proven to themselves that they can shape their reality through consistent action. This comprehensive confidence allows them to take on bigger challenges and opportunities because they trust in their capacity to handle whatever comes their way. Their discipline has shown them that they can learn, adapt, and overcome in any situation. The confidence born of discipline has staying power that emotional confidence lacks. Mood-dependent confidence rises and falls with circumstances, but discipline-based confidence remains steady through ups and downs. When setbacks occur, the disciplined person doesn't lose faith in themselves because their confidence isn't tied to immediate results, it's tied to their proven ability to persist and problem solve. They understand that temporary failures are part of the process, not reflections of their worth or capability. This explains why disciplined people often outperform more talented but less consistent individuals over time. Their confidence allows them to weather storms that sink others. Even when things go wrong, they maintain self-assurance because they know their disciplined approach will eventually produce results. This creates a powerful advantage in any competitive arena where persistence often matters more than initial talent. Their confidence becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because it enables them to keep going when others quit, ensuring they ultimately succeed. Ultimately, discipline builds the only kind of confidence that matters, the kind that survives contact with reality. Anyone can feel confident when things are easy or when they're just starting out with big dreams. The true test comes when facing real challenges, setbacks, and plateaus. This is where discipline proves its worth by providing an unshakable foundation of confidence that doesn't depend on external validation or perfect conditions. The disciplined person knows confidence isn't something you find or receive, it's something you build through action after action, day after day. They understand that waiting to feel confident before taking action gets it backwards. Real confidence comes after you've done the work, not before. And this is why disciplined people seem to have a different relationship with fear and doubt, not because they never experience these emotions, but because their track record of following through gives them evidence to counter uncertainty. Their confidence isn't based on hope or wishful thinking, but on the cold, hard facts of what they've already accomplished through discipline. When you've consistently pushed past your comfort zone and achieved things you once thought impossible, you develop a quiet knowing that you can do it again. And that is the essence of unshakable confidence. Let me make this crystal clear. Discipline isn't just important, it's the only thing that matters in this game called life. While the sheep are sleeping in, scrolling mindlessly, and making pathetic excuses, the wolves are up grinding. That promotion you want, the body you desire, the bank account you dream about. None of it happens without cold, hard discipline. Motivation is for children. Talent is meaningless. Luck is a fairy tale. The undisputed truth. Discipline wins every single time. It's the ultimate weapon that separates kings from peasants. You either control your mind or mind controls you. There is no middle ground. The world doesn't care about your feelings. The market doesn't reward potential. Success goes to those who put in the work day after day when no one's watching, when it hurts, when you don't feel like it. That's how empires are built. That's how legends are made. So here's your choice. Stay weak, stay average, keep making excuses. Or embrace the pain, master your discipline, and take what's yours. The decision is simple. The execution is brutal, but the rewards, unlimited discipline equals freedom. Discipline equals power. Discipline equals victory. Now stop reading this and go get yours. The clock is ticking, so ask yourself, are you disciplined? Or are you just another dreamer waiting for a miracle? Stop waiting. Start working.